In the vast skies over Ohio, a young boy looked up at the stars and imagined himself soaring among them. It was 1930, and Neil Armstrong had just been born on August 5, in a quiet town called Wapakoneta. From the beginning, Neil's life was defined by curiosity, courage, and a quiet determination that would one day take him farther than anyone had ever gone. He would become more than a pilot, more than an astronaut. He would become the first human to walk on the moon. Neil grew up in a world that was still discovering the power of flight. The roar of airplanes fascinated him. He spent hours watching planes fly overhead, dreaming of the day he could touch the sky. His parents, Stephen and Viola Armstrong, nurtured this curiosity. His father, a U.S. Navy pilot in World War I, often told Neil about the thrill and responsibility of flight. His mother encouraged his love for learning, giving him the tools to explore the world with both imagination and discipline. As a child, Neil was quiet but ambitious. He excelled in school, showing an aptitude for mathematics and science. He built model airplanes and experimented with rockets in his backyard. Even as a young boy, he displayed a unique combination of technical skill and steady composure, a mind ready for the challenges of aviation and space exploration. He earned his first pilot's license at the age of 16, long before he could even vote. The sky was no longer a dream, it was his calling. Armstrong's teenage years coincided with a period of great change in the United States. World War II had ended, and the Cold War was beginning. The race to explore space had not yet begun, but the seeds were being planted. Neil's early exposure to airplanes and the discipline of flight gave him a head start. He enrolled at Purdue University, majoring in aeronautical engineering. His studies were rigorous, but Neil thrived. He combined theory with practice, learning to navigate the delicate balance of physics, mechanics, and human skill. After college, Neil Armstrong joined the U.S. Navy and became a fighter pilot during the Korean War. Flying the F-9F Panther jet, he completed dozens of dangerous missions over enemy territory. He experienced the fear and intensity of combat, yet he remained calm under pressure. Each flight honed his instincts and prepared him for the ultimate test, venturing into the unknown reaches of space. After the war, Neil returned to school to finish his degree and began working as a test pilot at the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA, the organization that would later become NASA. He flew some of the most advanced experimental aircraft of the time, the X-15 rocket plane among them, pushing the limits of speed, altitude, and human endurance. He became known for his careful preparation, his precision, and his calm demeanor, even in life-threatening situations. His reputation grew. Neil Armstrong was not just a skilled pilot, he was a thinker, a problem solver, and a man capable of extraordinary focus under pressure. In 1962, NASA selected Neil Armstrong as an astronaut, part of the second group of space travelers chosen for the Gemini program. The early space missions were perilous. Rockets exploded. Spacecraft malfunctioned. Astronauts risked their lives with every launch. Yet Armstrong thrived in this environment, combining technical expertise with courage. In 1966, he commanded the Gemini 8 mission, performing the first successful docking of 2 spacecraft in orbit. But danger was never far away. During the mission, a thruster malfunctioned, sending the spacecraft into a spin. Armstrong's calm and precise control saved the mission, and both his and his crewmates' lives. It was a defining moment, showing the world that he could remain unshakable even in the most extreme circumstances. By the late 1960s, America's space program faced its greatest challenge yet, landing a man on the moon before the decade was out. President John F. Kennedy had declared the ambitious goal in 1961, and NASA had answered the call. Armstrong, selected as commander of Apollo 11, was at the center of this monumental effort. The mission demanded months of preparation. Armstrong trained in simulators, studied lunar geology, and rehearsed every maneuver down to the smallest detail. Every step of the journey required perfect coordination between astronauts and ground control. Failure was not an option. On July 16, 1969, Apollo 11 lifted off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The Saturn V rocket roared into the sky, carrying Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. For millions of people watching on Earth, it was a historic moment. The three astronauts left their planet behind, entering the void of space with courage and precision. Armstrong, calm and focused, felt the weight of history pressing upon him, even as the spacecraft shook under the power of the launch. The journey to the moon lasted 3 days. Armstrong and his crew navigated the vast emptiness of space, orbiting Earth and preparing for the delicate task ahead, landing on the lunar surface. Collins remained in the command module, orbiting the moon, while Armstrong and Aldrin descended in the lunar module, known as Eagle. The final minutes of descent were tense. The module's computer warned of alarms. The pre-programmed landing site was rocky and uneven. Armstrong took manual control, flying with precision, scanning the surface for a safe landing spot. Finally, on July 20, 1969, at 2017 Universal Time Coordinated, the Eagle touched down on the moon. Armstrong's voice came over the radio, "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." Earth erupted in cheers. Millions of people around the world felt the triumph of human ingenuity, courage, and determination. The words were simple, but the achievement was extraordinary. For the first time in history, humans had landed on another world. Hours later, Neil Armstrong descended the lunar module ladder, stepping onto the moon's surface. He spoke the words that would echo through history: "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." His boots pressed into the lunar soil, leaving footprints that would remain for millennia. He planted the American flag, conducted experiments, and collected rock samples, all while aware that every step symbolized humanity's potential. Aldrin soon joined him, and together they walked, studied, and marveled at the desolate beauty of the moon. The world watched in awe as Armstrong and Aldrin explored the lunar surface. Every move had been meticulously planned, yet the astronauts marveled at the strange, silent landscape. Craters, dust, and rock stretched endlessly under the black sky. Armstrong's calm observations reflected both the careful training and the profound awe he felt. It was not just a victory for America, but for all humankind, a testament to what curiosity, courage, and perseverance could achieve. After their historic moonwalk, Armstrong and Aldrin returned to the lunar module, then rendezvoused with Michael Collins in orbit. The journey back to Earth was tense, but Armstrong's steady leadership guided the crew safely home. On July 24, 1969, Apollo 11 splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. The world erupted in celebration. Neil Armstrong had not just reached the moon, he had expanded the boundaries of human possibility. Armstrong's life after the moon landing continued to reflect his quiet dignity and dedication to service. He taught at the University of Cincinnati, mentoring the next generation of engineers and pilots. He served on commissions and advised NASA, contributing his knowledge and experience to the continuing exploration of space. Armstrong remained humble, often emphasizing the teamwork behind Apollo 11, insisting that no achievement was the work of one man alone. Throughout his life, Neil Armstrong embodied courage, discipline, and curiosity. From a small town in Ohio to the first steps on the moon, his journey was defined not by ego, but by integrity, precision, and a desire to push humanity forward. He inspired generations to look up at the sky and imagine what could be achieved. Neil Armstrong passed away on August 25, 2012, at the age of 82. Yet his legacy endures, etched into the history of exploration and human endeavor. The footprints he left on the moon remind us of the limitless potential of human courage, determination, and ingenuity. The story of Neil Armstrong teaches us that no dream is too vast, no challenge insurmountable, and that the human spirit can achieve the extraordinary when guided by knowledge, preparation, and courage. The first man on the moon was not born with privilege, power, or fame. He was born with curiosity, ambition, and an unwavering desire to explore. His journey from Ohio to the moon continues to inspire the world, reminding us that humanity's greatest achievements begin with a single step into the unknown. As we look up at the moon, we remember Neil Armstrong, not just as an astronaut, but as a symbol of courage, perseverance, and human potential. The Eagle has landed, and in that moment, humanity reached for the stars and proved that even the most impossible dreams can become reality. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who love history. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories of leaders, legends, and the journeys that shaped our world.